The quiet signals that shape culture. Why employees believe what leaders do long before they believe what leaders say. Throughout my career, I have worked in organizations that invested significant time and energy defining their values. Leadership teams debated the wording. Communications departments produced polished presentations, and posters eventually appeared on office walls or staff notice boards. There was genuine commitment behind much of this work because most leaders understand that culture matters. Yet one observation has remained remarkably consistent. Employees rarely decide what an organization stands for by reading its values. They decide by watching what happens around them every day. Culture is often described as something that leaders create. I have gradually come to a different conclusion. Leaders certainly influence culture, but they do not control how it is interpreted. That responsibility sits with every employee who quietly observes how decisions are made, how people are treated, and what behaviours are rewarded. Long before someone has attended a town hall meeting or completed an engagement survey, they have already started drawing conclusions about what really matters. Those conclusions are rarely formed through grand gestures. They emerge through a succession of small moments that most leaders barely notice. Perhaps that is why organizational culture can feel so difficult to change. Leaders often concentrate on improving what people hear, while employees continue paying attention to what they see. Culture is interpreted, not announced. One of the most common mistakes organizations make is believing that culture can be communicated into existence. Purpose statements become more polished. Values are refreshed. Leadership competencies are redesigned. Internal campaigns are launched with genuine enthusiasm. None of these initiatives are inherently wrong. Many are worthwhile. The difficulty arises when organizations mistake describing a culture for creating one. Employees are remarkably perceptive. They understand that every organization has aspirations as well as realities. They listen politely when leaders explain the culture they are trying to build, but they reserve judgment until they have seen evidence that those aspirations are reflected in everyday behavior. In many respects, this is entirely rational. If people want to understand how an organization really operates, observation is far more reliable than intention. Over the years, I have watched new employees develop an understanding of an organization within surprisingly short periods of time. They notice who contributes confidently in meetings and who remains silent. They notice whether questions are welcomed or viewed as inconvenient. They notice how senior leaders respond when plans change unexpectedly. None of these observations appears particularly significant in isolation. Together, however, they become the lens through which people interpret the organization. Culture is not something employees are told. It is something they gradually learn. The signals leaders never intended to send. Most leaders think carefully about the messages they communicate. They prepare presentations, write updates, and choose their words with care. Far less attention is given to the messages communicated unintentionally. Consider what happens when a leader speaks passionately about collaboration, but consistently arrives late to meetings. Or when an organization promotes well-being while praising those who answer emails late into the evening. A business may encourage innovation, yet the first unsuccessful idea is met with criticism rather than curiosity. None of these moments is likely to appear in an annual report. None will be discussed at a leadership conference. Yet these are precisely the experiences that employees remember because they reveal the difference between declared priorities and operational reality. In hospitality, this has always been particularly visible. Guests rarely judge a hotel solely by its architecture or marketing. Their lasting impression is shaped by dozens of seemingly ordinary interactions. A warm greeting on arrival. A colleague who notices uncertainty before being asked for help. A manager who quietly supports a member of the team during a busy service rather than criticizing them afterwards. Individually, these moments are small. Collectively, they become the experience people remember. The same principle applies inside organizations. Employees are constantly interpreting the quiet signals around them. They notice consistency far more readily than slogans. Why small moments carry so much weight? It is tempting to dismiss these everyday interactions as insignificant because each one appears too minor to influence organisational culture on its own. The reality is quite different. People rarely remember every conversation they have at work, but they develop an enduring impression of how those conversations make them feel. That impression influences behaviour. If colleagues repeatedly experience curiosity when they ask questions, they become more willing to contribute ideas. If mistakes are treated as opportunities to learn, people become more comfortable acknowledging uncertainty before problems become crises. Equally, when people repeatedly observe blame, inconsistency, or indifference, they begin protecting themselves. They speak less openly, take fewer considered risks, and become increasingly cautious about offering perspectives that might be unpopular. These changes rarely happen overnight. They emerge gradually, often without leaders recognizing that anything has changed at all. By the time declining trust appears in an engagement survey or increased turnover becomes visible, the behaviours that created those outcomes have usually been present for months, sometimes years. The challenge for leaders, therefore, is not simply to communicate culture more effectively. It is to become more conscious of the countless quiet signals that shape it every single day. Stay with me for part 2. We'll go beyond leadership and explore where culture is really built. It's easy to think culture starts and ends with senior leaders, but the truth is that your daily experience is shaped far more by your manager, your team, and the small interactions that happen every day. We'll look at the quiet signals people notice, why consistency matters more than grand initiatives, and one simple question every organisation should ask itself. Sometimes the strongest message about culture isn't spoken at all. It's observed. See you in part 2. For more practical insights on leadership, HR, and workplace culture, follow the link below.